Selamat malam. Apa khabar? That's all the bhasha I know. So we'll stop there before I make a fool of myself. Good evening, colleagues, esteemed trustees, managers, and the teachers and students of this Islamic boarding school. It's my privilege and honor to be here today, to be talking to you. Thank you for this opportunity. I was not expecting to give a speech. I thought this would be more like of an informal dialogue, but I would never lose an opportunity to talk on important issues which are affecting and impacting the health of the adolescent youth of Indonesia. So let me briefly introduce myself. I am Mrunal. I am a medical doctor. I am a trained clinician in dermatology, venereology and leprology. I am also a public health specialist, and I have served in multiple positions. Half my career was spent in HIV/AIDS, prevention, treatment and cure, and I have worked with all types of people, rich, poor, coming from impoverished places, some very rich places. I spent 5 years in the polio eradication program when we were dealing with the wild polio virus, and I have spent around 6 to 7 years in a place called Uttar Pradesh. It is a small province of India, a population of 240 million, and there I was doing maternal newborn child health work. And since the last 6 years I am with UNICEF now, looking after the health as well as nutrition portfolio. The nutrition portfolio was in Ghana. In this quite long 30-year journey, one of the most important things that came back again and again is the importance of how healthy the youth must be, both physically and mentally, if they are to deliver to their full potential and to the full dividend. I do not think this holds true, or rather more true, to a country like Indonesia, because as you know, if you look at your population chart, you have a barrel shaped demographic. That means you have little of the younger population, a massive of adolescent population, and a little of old population. So you are currently reaping on what is known as the benefit of the demographic dividend. Am I clear? So you are one of those few countries in the world. If you look at Japan, the barrel is very low, slightly, and then very big on the top. So you have more old people, very few babies and newborn, and lesser and lesser middle-aged people, right? So you have this ideal curve by which you have children, then adolescent, and then old, with the adolescent being the maximum population. If I am not mistaken, of the 270 million people who live in this country, significant amount of them belong to the adolescent age. The challenge is that around 25 million of these live in poverty, that is below a threshold of economic viability. And once you come into that zone where the economic viability is low, you come across a lot of challenges and stresses and disenfranchisement. If you look at where this population resides, it's almost equal in rural as well as urban areas. So you will find adolescent at risk and adolescent who are not doing very well equally distributed across the country. Now, what are the challenges our adolescent children face, right? Again, some of us have lived through an era where the only communication device used to be a black colored phone which rang tring, tring, tring. You picked it up, you said hello and spoke, and that's it, you know. I don't think you have even seen those devices, right? Today, with this evolving digital technology, and this is not going to stop. You cannot throw digital technology out, right? Otherwise, you will be a relic, you will not be fit for purpose in this world. Along with all the good that comes from the digital devices, also comes a lot of distractions, right? A couple of hours ago, I was in a scavenger area where I was talking to the children of scavengers, where they don't come from very advantaged situations, but everybody knows about TikTok. When you talk of TikTok, yes, we know TikTok, right? So when you talk of Instagram, yes, we know of Instagram, right? So if from that strata of the society, everybody is exposed to social media, obviously in a fine institute like here, where resources are not a constraint, almost everyone is impacted by social media. And with social media comes good and comes bad, right? So the feeling of, oh my God, I am being left out, look out how everyone is very happy, everybody is like snorkeling in Sabang, right? So you will always have this, only the good part of life. And I think it's important to prepare our children to understand what is reality and what is a fallacy, right? You demonstrate only the good things in your life. I don't think any one of us puts on Instagram, I had a fight with my wife, right? The only thing we will put on Instagram is how good an evening we spent in an expensive restaurant, or this is the latest batik shirt I have bought, right? You only put good things, you never put normal or bad things. I think this awareness needs to be brought into our children, how not to let social media influence the way we behave, right? Because this triggers a cycle of well-being, then self-doubt, from well-being to self-doubt, from self-doubt to early onset depression, and then it becomes a vicious circle of worry that I am not able to keep up, right? Trust me, nothing in life is perfect, and it is okay not to be okay, right? Please remember this, it is okay not to be okay. You should not be aiming for being perfect every time. It is okay to be upset, right? But when you are upset, speak to people. There are friends around you, there are counselors around you, right? Do not think that, oh, if I frown or if I am unhappy, something is wrong with me. No, every normal human being in this world goes up and down through emotions, and that is normal, right? So this beautiful life of film stars that you see on TikTok or Instagram, or sports people or celebrities or divas or rock stars, that is fake. Do not think that they live their life 24/7 like them, right? So just be aware, minimize, enjoy what you get on social media, but don't fall prey to it. Don't let that drive your life, right? So please remember this, there are a lot of distractions on social media, and you have to be strong to withstand the deviations that you might face from there. And it is a very, very powerful medium. So it's even more addictive than drugs to an extent, right? So I will confess, I was never on any of these things till I got an official message which took me to Instagram. Do you know Instagram? So I had to actually, I got an Instagram account, because without an Instagram account, I cannot get a Twitter account. It is linked, right? So to get my X or Twitter account, I had to link it and had to have this Insta. I got some message and I looked at it, and I kept looking at it, and suddenly I looked at my watch. It was 40 minutes later, and I am still looking at this nonsense, right? So where did my 40 minutes of my life go? And I am an adult, and I am aware of how precious time is. But if I can get sucked into it, imagine what vulnerable young children can, they are so vulnerable. So it is extremely potent, addictive and dangerous, right? So I think as teachers, as peers, as friends, we need to create an environment where everyone is aware on how to maximize the use of social media without falling prey to the bad and side effects of social media. I think another important thing I wanted to talk to about, and this is an increasing problem for children in Indonesia and especially in Aceh, and that is smoking, right. We call it roko, right. Sounds nice, no? Cool, rock and roll, roko, right. See, smoking is all about advertisement. I see everyone everywhere very nice and bright and colorful and masculine sounding names of cigarette brands, you know, Surya and this and that, you know, everything is like, it sounds wow, you know, and then you walk around and you see the new phenomena called vape, you know, trendy, sleek, colorful flavors, chocolate flavor, right. Again, it is very difficult to be a young person in this situation, and very easy then to get derailed from the norm. So, again, I believe it's up to us as teachers, mentors, caretakers and peers to be more alert, aware, and be able to help friends and colleagues who fall down this path rather than being judgmental, right. It's extremely easy to fall prey to these. And then, you know, as you know, addictions are starts with one cigarette, then goes to a pack of cigarettes, and then none of these are good. I don't need to explain to you how toxic smoking is. It's well proven that if you smoke for a few years and then say that, okay, I'm going to give up smoking, yeah, it takes 10 years of non-smoking to come close to the level of what you were before you started smoking. And what I mean by that is your lung capacity. Your lung is a live organ, right. So, it expands and contracts every second, every minute, right. And if you bombard it with toxins, then it is going to have long lasting impact, right. So, I am not even getting into the oral cancers, the cancers of the tongue, of the throat, you know, which can kill people, right. So, I think I have spoken a lot for someone who was not supposed to speak at all. I would like to summarize. Today, we in Indonesia are at an extremely special moment in time. The adolescent youth is our economic power for the future. If you want to have the golden vision of 2045 that Indonesia is aiming for, you cannot go there without your youth, without your adolescent superpower. And trust me, this adolescent youth superpower will take Indonesia to one of the top 10 nations in the world. Only they will take it, not you, not any of you. It's these kids who will do it. So, our job is to ensure we create the right environment and platform for them. For that, we cannot be judgmental, we cannot be prescriptive. I don't know how many of you have teenage children, but if I tell my son to do something or not to do something, he will do exactly the opposite. So, you cannot be prescriptive, you cannot be judgmental, you have to have an open mind, and above all you have to be forgiving. When they make mistakes, you have to hold their hand and pull them back, right, because they are all our friends, children, you know, and you are their mentors. It's very easy for me to say all of this and extremely difficult to enact and implement these things. But that is why stalwarts like you, heroes like you, peers like you need to take up action. Yeah? And I hope that tonight I have been able to influence you, to strengthen your resolve, to motivate you to become better friends for adolescents. Right? Thank you for listening at such a late hour. It's been my pleasure and honor. Terima kasih.